Shall we begin?
Let's begin now.
Good day, everyone. Peace and blessings to all, and welcome to the Mantality 360 podcast. I'm Michael Tolan, and this is
Kevin Lewis. Well, what did the tie, people? What the tie?
Today is March 16, 2018, and this episode's podcast topic is secret or separate accounts. Can they be toxic to a marriage? But first and foremost, I would like to touch on this week's hot topics and recent events.
All right, Mike. Well, this week's first hot topic we will discuss will be, did you hear about the bridge that fell in Florida this past week?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it. I think I saw some postings or something on Facebook. Didn't really get into any details. I believe several people were injured, people were killed.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, the crazy thing about that whole thing was that the construction company was already cited before in previous, contracts or whatever for cutting corners and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Now you gotta wonder how important is that if you could continue letting to build and stuff like that around the city, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like a lawsuit.
Oh, no doubt. Right? No doubt.
And that's the thing, cutting corners with anything, in life is going to cost you, ultimately. Right?
No doubt. You pay now, pay me later, but you're going to pay. Yeah. Okay, and then another thing that happened this week was in San Antonio and Austin this past week, we had like maybe 4 to 6 bombs that went off in people of color houses. It's almost like they were being targeted.
Right, I heard about that as well.
Now that's crazy. Because
apparently they were leaving some packages outside people's doors, and these were like unmarked packages. They they clearly wasn't from like FedEx or UPS. So I don't know. I guess that's the inquisitive nature of people. If they see a package on their step, they're gonna take it inside and open it up.
And actually, I think like maybe 3 or 4 people died, a couple people injured from those explosions of those bombs. And that's crazy because I know that how people view one another has gone to another level in the last year or so. Yeah, but absolutely. Man, like something has to give. Yeah. If it's not the shooting, now we're dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, geez.
That's terrorism at its finest. Terrorism and racism at its finest.
No doubt. And one other thing I want to discuss too. I don't know if you saw this. Now we normally don't. We kind of cruise over sporting events, but the baseball player from Venezuela that was recorded beating his girlfriend up that played for the Astros this time, like sometime last year. Now the crazy thing is, now I know you might be thinking, I mean, it's bad for a man to hit a woman anyway,
right?
Which we both agree. But the thing is, the more I watch that video, the more I notice how the female never seemed like she was really shook by it, as if this was the norm.
Yeah, and that could have been the case. Maybe she's so conditioned, and used to it that it's, something that happens all the time. So that's possible. Because
I'm thinking, if I would have hit my girl, my wife, right now, dude, I mean, it's like World War III in that house. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's fighting back, she's screaming, she's calling whoever she needs to call. Right. You know what I'm saying? But this young lady got hit, Mike, stopped, put her glasses on, never yelled, never screamed, never ran. Yeah. And just kind of stayed in the area for him to keep welling on her. And he kept welling on her.
I think, it kind of lends to maybe I think we may have talked about this before. Sometimes when people are in certain situations where they feel that there's a sense of security, whether it's financially or whatever, right? Then they're prone to take a little bit more, nonsense, right? Yeah. Whether it's cheating, physical abuse, or whatever it may be.
But I think too, though, that kind of goes back to what we discussed a week or so ago about the lack of value that people have in themselves. Because I think as a male, I don't have any fathers, and luckily, I don't have any daughters. But I think that's where a lot of men are failing, because there's no way in the world your daughter should should grow up and thinking this is love.
Right. It's okay for somebody to put their hand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's love, right?
Like no way in the world that should be accepted in any household, and if it is,
or vice versa, because there are women that put their hands on dudes.
No doubt. Bless their hearts, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's just a crazy week, man. A lot of stuff going on, and we just have to, I guess, stay prayerful.
Yeah.
And just pray for this world, and just a lot of crazy things. But that's our hot topics of the week, mate.
Hot topic. All right, welcome back to the Mantality 360 podcast. Again, today's topic is secret or separate financial accounts. Can they be toxic to a marriage? And so, Kevin, as usual, I always have a story, right?
Okay, what you got for us?
Always got a story to tell.
What you got for us this time?
So, the reason I kind of came up with this topic is, I have a friend, right, who was telling me this story, and they were married, and this was their first marriage, and they were telling me about a time when, they were separated from their wife, and it was pretty much over. They hadn't legally gotten divorced yet, and they had a joint account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they were separated probably about a year at that point or so, and the wife was no longer contributing to this joint account. She had her own account, once they were separated. But there was some stuff that was going on, and the friend, he ended up getting involved with this other lady, and the wife found out about it. And so I guess out of spite, she went, because her name was still on the joint account,
and took all the money.
Loose ends and took all of the money out.
Mm-hmm.
And she hadn't contributed to that account in like a year.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I think to the tune of about $4,000 or so.
Okay, 4 or 40?
4,000.
4?
Yeah, 4,000.
Ah, okay. He'll get over there.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just chuck it up
he
again.
was definitely hot about it,
No
because
doubt.
it wasn't her money to
Right.
touch.
No doubt.
But he said the fortunate part was he had always had a separate account, a
Mm-hmm.
secret account that she didn't know about. And so she took that money, but he was okay because he had this other money stashed away in this other account.
Mm-hmm.
So, it made me think about it. I'm like, is that okay to have separate accounts, secret accounts, when you're together, when you're married? I don't know. So that's the topic for this week, and I think we should just kind of dive into it and, explore the different nuances of it. The different nuances of it all. And I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. I think, there's a lot of potential situations that can come out of having, separate and secret.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
So I don't know.
But I do think this right here, though, real quick. I think, Mike, that your friend, right, he had to have some type of foresight of who he was dealing with before he went and had that separate account.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking that he had to see that she was kind of what word can I use? I got one. He's trifling. You know what I'm saying? He had to see that she was something for him to feel like, man, I have to make sure that I'm good over here.
Yeah.
Unless he did it with ulterior motives himself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm thinking, because she had to show you something to say, just in case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying we should walk around, we should live, we should be married or in a relationship, plan to get married with 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Because that's what I think that is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying, though.
Yeah, definitely. You can't be halfway in, halfway out of a relationship. I think you either all in or you all out. Whether that be accounts or whatever it may be, friendships, or whatever it's gonna be. But definitely, I also knew this guy that he always told me that he kept the trick account, right?
Not the trick account.
It was a secret account, but
okay,
he said,
okay.
he just used it for...
Not the shake joint account. Please don't
yeah,
say that.
like
Not the
shake joint, whatever.
No.
If he wanted to, splurge a little bit, and he didn't want his wife to find out about it, he had this separate account that he would use, and do that. I mean, what do you think about that?
Here's the thing, though. I think that it's, actually, this is what I think. And believe it or not, you told me this a couple years back. Mm-hmm. You said, man, Kev, I keep my stash in a cigar box in my drawer, right?
Yeah.
Walk through the house to the left, second drawer on the right. I'm just
right. Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I would think. So what I start to do is now I have my own little stash, and so if we're going somewhere, my wife needs new this or new that or just whatever, I always have money to say, hey, babe, go buy you this or whatever. Right. It's not coming out of our account. Now, I think that's okay because if she ever needs to get to it, I can just say, hey, babe, go look in this drawer right here, up under this, up under that, whatever, and there it is.
Right.
So, go ahead.
Nah, so what you're saying is say even you want to surprise your wife with something nice, for just on any given days, she may have done something nice and you want to return the favor.
Yeah, right.
Without her knowing about it, you want to do this secret thing because definitely if you pull the money out of the account, a huge sum of money, this alert is going to go off on her phone and she's like, oh, what is he up to?
Then you got a text message saying, why you take $2 out the account?
Right. So if you want to surprise her or something like that, I can understand that.
Okay,
it's always good.
So with that, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I will say this, okay, you and I know people who would look like their marriage was going great until they decided to, hey, let's split our money up. And then when that happened, it seemed like the gates opened.
Yeah.
And everything that could go wrong because then the trust issues came into play. And then mine and yours came into play. So then we're no longer striving as to be one anymore because now that finance has now divided us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so here's the thing. How can we be, this is just my opinion, how can we be striving to be more of one, two people becoming one if our finances are separate? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just think personally that's not a really good...
I think you have to, you have to know the person that you're married to, right? To know, if they have any type of vices, if they're big shoppers or spenders, or any of that. If they smoking crack.
Yeah, I just what I'm about to say. Hey, man,
whatever, right?
If they walking around itching with white lips,
you smoke crack, don't you?
You better want to keep them 2020s in your own little,
right? But no, I'm saying that to say this. When I was married, we had a joint account.
You smoke crack,
for the major stuff, the mortgage, the bills, the household bills, that type of stuff. And then we also had our separate accounts that we knew about. They weren't secret,
right.
But these were just, after all the bills were paid and all that, the residual money from our respective paychecks would go into our separate accounts. And if I wanted to go splurge and spend some money on some shoes or whatever I wanted to do, then I would use my separate account to do that. Right. Or if I wanted to buy my wife something nice, I could use that separate account to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Because I believe that my wife will hardly never spend money. She would, she hardly ever spends money that she doesn't need to spend. Now, me on the other hand, I'm constantly going out to eat, every other day, you know. And so that's where, like you just said, we have the one account, but then we have like she calls it allowance, but I'm a grown man. But then I'll get so much, maybe $100 a month or whatever. Put it in this separate account. Now, if I spend it, that's on me. If I don't, then that's still on me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, if I know something's coming up, I'm going to need it, then I probably won't spend as much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then she has that same leeway, but I know she never spends money, so she get $20.
She only gets 20.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just kidding, babe. You can have as much as you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, but that for me, that seemed to work. It worked really well. that's why I don't really understand the secret accounts. What I mentioned to you when you mentioned the cigar box, though, that for me that was more so about like if I knew we had planned a trip like several months out or a year out, I would just intentionally just pull money every time I get paid. I'll put like $50. It was literally a little box or whatever, and I'll take like $50 or whatever, put it in the box. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind,
right?
And I would just do it. It was out of repetition, and before you know it, when it comes time for that trip, you don't have to pull this money out of your checking account or saving accounts when you're going on vacation. Mm-hmm. It's just money that you kind of stashed away, and you're like, hey, I got all this money that we can use to fund our trip, for excursions or shopping or
right.
Now, literally, we could have put that in a
savings
account or something like that, but I don't know. I'm just kind of put your money in the mattress type of person. Oh, and by the way, FYI, and this is educational for those of you that may do this or have started doing this. Money actually molds, right? So you can't bury money in your backyard just in a plastic bag. Or even in a safe for an extended period of time. Money will mold. Right. Yeah, you have to put, make sure you put some baking soda in there.
Oh, I ain't never had no money to sit that long, Mike.
Yeah,
so,
I'm still spending money from 88. Hey, that's a lyric. That's Jay-Z line.
Okay,
I'm just joking.
I'm still spending them old hundreds, you know what I'm saying? Me and Diddy doing that together, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. But, I think if you're doing it like that, then I think that's okay. But I think that for any other reason, then I'm wondering what your motives are.
Right.
Because it's like, why do you have to have $500 in this account every other week, or whatever? Like, what are you doing with this type of money? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like, I don't know about you, but I just assume that people can trick with $200 or $300 real easily with their side pieces if they wanted to.
Check this out. I also had another guy, who said that they had a joint account, and they only had a joint account. But this is what he would do to kind of get his little trick fund together or whatever. He would just at random, like, pull $150 here, like 1 week. He would sit on it for, a few weeks. He wouldn't spend it. And then, a couple weeks later.
Whoa, hey, that's good. Something else. But anyway, we're going to cut this part out because he tried to put me on blast. You know what I'm saying?
No, not you.
Babe, I ain't take that money. Hey, babe, I bought me some with that money.
No, okay? Not you. But yeah, he would sit on it for a couple of weeks, and then a couple of weeks down the road, he would pull out $200 or $250. He would do that, for a few months, and before you know it, he's piled up his little money, that kind of went unnoticed, right? And so that's how he would do it, but I don't know. Still, I don't think that's,
check this out. But I had a lady tell me, she said, Kevin, I think it's okay for a man and a woman to have a separate account. And she told me this, right? I'm thinking, really, why? You know what I'm saying? Like why would you think it is okay? She said, well, sometimes I want to go out with my girls. I want to do this, blah, 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 blah. But I think, though, again, if you have for lack of a better term, allowance, or set up a certain set amount of money that you put in your account every 2 weeks, a week, whenever you get paid, however that works out for you. And I think that's okay. But again, I say you cannot have a separate account because, first of all, I have to trust you. Mm-hmm. And if you have anything done in secret, first of all, it's going to come to the light.
Right. So hold on. I don't want to get it confused. Are you talking separate accounts?
Okay. So
or are you talking secret?
Okay. So now I'm talking secret because separate, I think automatically there's no way in the world you can become two. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Mm-hmm. There's no way where you can become one if you're still functioning like you're two individuals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you think about this, your money gives you the freedom to act independently. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So does her money.
Right.
So, how can we say we're one if we function as two independent people?
Okay. So are you suggesting that, it all goes into one account And then from that point, if you want to do something separate, it's about communication.
Yes,
you know, it's
very much so. Very much.
you know, I got this thing I want to do. I need to take X amount of dollars out to do this.
Or like you said earlier, you know, like you knew you were having something coming up in a couple of months or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you was already preparing for that.
Yeah, just preparing for it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So again, just so I'm clear, you recommend just one joint account, no separate or secret account. Right?
Because the last thing you want is a female like that. She could be independent, because you know that's like the world's biggest cursor.
So again, what happens like if you want to surprise your wife or something? Like,
okay.
What do you do?
Prime example. Well, you just gave me an answer to this. You just told me, because I know my wife's birthday is in June every year. Mm-hmm. So I start saving before June. You know what I'm saying?
So you start pulling money out.
Hey, no. I save the money.
Okay.
I don't
save. That's the okay.
Yeah, I don't pull money
save.
out.
You
no more.
Okay.
No, but I just try to save it, because prime example, my wife's birthday would Valentine's Day, because it happened to me on Valentine's Day. I was like, man, I want to get her something, but what do I do? Because I hadn't really saved a lot of money.
So the money that you're saving is actually from your allowance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
You know, and those $8 haircuts I'd be getting.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Carlos. Huh?
I got
shout out to Carlos.
No doubt. Exclusive or cuts, Arlington.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I get it. I just think, like I said, when I was married, we did a little different. I think a lot of people do this. I've talked to a lot of people. They do the joint account, and then they do separate accounts. Mm-hmm. You know, it worked for us, but I just think that if you're going completely secret about anything, then that's a problem in itself, because it kind of comes back to trust. Like, you know, why do you really have to have a secret? What's the underlying reason you have a secret account?
Okay.
That your spouse doesn't know about.
Okay, but before we tackle that, I got a question for you then. So when we say joint account, are we saying that most of, like 90% of our funds go to one account where we both have access to?
Significant amount of the money is probably going to that account. Like I said, it's to cover the major things, the mortgage and household bills and cars and, you know, all that. And savings if you're saving together. Right. And then, you know, after all that is said and done, you know, there's some residual amount that's probably left for, you know, smaller percentage. So
this is how this should not look. It shouldn't look like this. Let's say you make $3,000 every 2 weeks, and I make $2,000 every 2 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. And so we say, okay, the mortgage is $1,500, $1,600. Okay, so then we say we're gonna pay half. So you put in $800. I put in $800. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, the light bill is this, so $100. So you put in $50. I put in $50. Mm-hmm. Well, you make $3,000. I make $2,000. So that that's $800 that I'm coming off of now. That's gonna mean a whole lot more to me than it does to you. Yeah. You know, you see what I'm saying? And so I know a couple who this was the argument. Well,
because one made
yes,
one
you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, are we saying that the money should be? That's why I say 90% of all the money should be in this account, this one mutual account. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, the person who made the least amount of money was the one who wanted the split accounts. That makes no sense to me. Now I will say this.
So, hold on.
I will say this one little thing. When there's kids involved and child support is involved, now I believe that, like my wife, she had a totally different account for all the child support money that the boys were getting, because that's what that money was their money.
There for them,
right? You know what I'm saying? So like that account, whatever, you know, because that's for them. Whenever they need it, whatever they need, other than outside of what we give them already, it's in that account. You know, and so I don't want access to that account. I don't need access to that account. Right. That's their account. Now, anything other than that, you know, I think could be a situation.
Right. So you recommend, like, in the where one makes more than the other, it's a flat percentage. Like let's say you mentioned 90%. So regardless if I make, what would you say, 3,000 every 2 weeks, I'm still putting 90% into this account. Yeah. Regardless if you make 2,000 or she makes 2,000, she's still putting 90% of 2,000 into that account. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
because it can't be, you know what I'm saying? It can't be where we put the same amount. And I'm like, hold on, player. You walking away with still $1,500 in your pocket. I'm walking away with $30. So what's wrong with this picture? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like I said, it's crazy because the female was the one who said, let's just do mutual accounts. I mean, let's do separate accounts. And I kicked it in. I swore to you. I swear. When that happened, it's like everything that could happen started to happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because like now I gotta wonder, hold on, how you out drinking all the time? Where you get that money from? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Like who's buying your drinks now? Yeah. So now we got trust issues. You know what I'm saying? We never had them before because we always knew where the money was coming from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
that's a good. It's kind of off subject, but you made me think of something. If she's out and somebody's buying her drinks, right? Is that okay for your spouse to accept drinks from another?
Boy,
look, I already knew this. I was just like, I like poking the fuck. I like poking.
Well, you know what? You do have an empty couch in there, so
I like poking.
Now we didn't talk about that baseball player beating this girl down, so we don't need 2 victims. No, I'm just kidding. No, but actually, I would hope my wife would just say thank you, but no thank you. Real talk.
Right, I would hope
real
so.
talk, right. because if not, then to me, you just open a door for whatever. Because I truly believe in that setting, nobody's doing anything for free.
Yeah, right, true that.
Nobody.
All right, back to topic. Okay. All right, separate account, secret account. So, I've always heard that, and I've heard this from women, they said that women always have a slush fund or whatever, right? What do you think about that? You think most women have some type of...
Oh, I know my wife does. I know she does.
Even if they put it in a penny holder somewhere wrapped up,
But see, check this out. I don't want to really talk about this because she don't know I know where it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna say, hey, I don't think my wife has one. No, I'm just kidding. But I think
now,
cool.
when I was talking to them about this, they would say, "Well, it's for a rainy day, or you never know what happens, right? Like, what is a rainy day? What does that mean?
Yeah,
because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, here's some type of uncertainty. Like you're uncertain about this person, and you want to have this backup plan just in case, whatever, right? Is that what that is?
That's what I believe. Well, I don't know because women think totally different from men because men that's what I think it is.
That's what that's what I think it is.
But I bet you money if we asked 10 women, they would probably tell us probably 6 different things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, no, that's for when this happens because I will say this: most women are planners. You know what I'm saying? Like they're always looking ahead, like the what if. And I'm thinking, man, we worry about it when it comes. That's why we have savings. That's why we have this or that or whatever. But I'll just say, me and my wife don't think it like that. Cause my wife think it's gonna rain every other day. No, babe, if we can buy that for $200, we can get over here for $50. Like what? You think that kind of a big difference, babe? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But she's always saying like, what if? Let's just save money. Matter of fact, she had the same conversation with our kids today. Save money. So she, like I said, I just think women just think differently. Yeah. When it comes to stuff like that,
Yeah.
Unless, again, what's that word I'm looking for? Unless they just, what's that word? Trifling. I'm just kidding. That's somebody's daughter I'm talking about.
Hey, so we had a couple podcasts ago about the breadwinners that had a household. So, like, in a situation like, where somebody is a house is staying at home and not bringing in any finances. It's like, is it okay for that person to kind of stash away money that's not bringing in any money?
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. No, see,
because that ties into that whole slush fund rainy day situation.
No, that's just lack of trust.
That's lack of trust. Right?
That's like you about to bounce, and you already know that you get sick of old boy. The bitch better have
I'll tell you, I literally had somebody tell me that they grandma told them, "Girl, you better, always have some money. You never know what happens."
Yeah, I see that. Dude, but check this out. You don't think though that that's why so many marriages end? You know what I'm saying? Because I just think that when you give people out, that it's like when they get out of jail for free card. You just hold on to it. You hold on to it until one day you need it.
Right.
And maybe because to me, that's why people don't fight for things as much as they should anymore, because they always have an out. Now get rid of that slush fund, and then just try to instead of doing all this other thinking over here, put all your focus on trying to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I just believe that's why divorce rate's so high, because people finances and everything else is all screwed up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you get people way out, they gonna take it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about that one. But I was about to say something, man. Okay, about that whole a man staying at home to be the
house husband.
Yeah, house husband, Mr. Mom, what you want to call him.
Yeah.
Dude, now what are you thinking about this, though? Totally off subject. What are you thinking about this? It says, and this is Bible, biblical, if you don't work, you don't eat. Hold on, listen for this. That's a mic drop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dude, hold on. If God said it, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, dude, hold on. God said, hey, man, if you don't eat, you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, dude, like, how can you be a dude? Honestly, how can you be a male and be okay with your girl bringing him all the money? Not just some of the money, but all the money. Go ahead.
Look, I can't say it. I can't even respond.
Mine looking like, oh.
Hey,
Because in that situation, honestly, I don't know. Because I will continue to say you're still one.
Mm-hmm. You're one.
You're still one. And she shouldn't be putting money to the side. Just like if the script was flipped, he shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe he or she feels, whoever's at home, that their labor around the house is contributing, to that one. No different than, we're going to stay biblical, tithing, right? Like, it don't have to be financial.
Right.
It don't have to be financial. It could be,
It says your first. It says you give me your first. Okay, you know what? Since you brought this up.
I brought that up.
I had a conversation with somebody just recently, right? And they said, well, because God wants us to give, because we asked them, well, why are you giving money to the church?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they said, oh, because, it says, and blah, 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 Malachi, you should give to the church, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, no, show me in the Bible where it says you should give money to the church. Show me one time where it says that.
Right.
It never says that. No, it never says that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It said you should give it to your storehouse. Your storehouse is where you go to get what you need.
Right.
Not the word. I can give you the word for free.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I can't call you when I need something, if I can't come and make an appointment with you and talk to you, what am I getting from you? Because if I went to Kroger every day and Kroger couldn't give me what I wanted, but told me to come back some other time, you best believe I stopped going to Kroger. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Because Walmart neighborhood market right across the street.
Right there.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, I'm just wondering, like, what do people get off thinking that they have to give money to the church?
So you went to storehouse. So maybe in this situation, these secret separate accounts, this little slush fund, maybe that's their storehouse. They're building up.
No, because you shouldn't store up your stuff like that, what mouse and stuff like that could eat. And what you should do, you should store up in your marriage. You should store up in your relationship with Christ. There's so many different ways we can store up things, but we think that financial way is the way to get what we need and what we want. And actually, that's the totally wrong way, because the Bible also says that we can't love money and and God. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pick. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to put because basically when you have that account to the side, or you have that money where you taking it out on the side, you're saying, whatever I need, I'm going to depend on this money to get it for me. That's why I'm putting this money to the side. I'm not going to depend on Christ to do it for me. I'm going to depend on myself and take this money that I need, right? But not depend on Christ.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's about trust.
Yeah, it comes down to trust. So basically, a side account is no different than a side chick.
It sure. Thank you. I'm glad you said.
I should drop the mic.
He said
that. Man.
No, dude, real talk. I totally believe that, Mike.
Yeah.
Totally believe that, dude. Totally believe that. No difference than a side chick, a side dude, whatever it's going to be, because your attention and your focus is on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. So to have for all those people out there who have a separate account, I'm just telling you this right here, the real talk. It's just me and you, and them over there,
and
the other person. But other than that, ain't nobody else. No, but there's no way in the world that you can be pressing to be one with your spouse if you can't be one the whole circle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like we talked about the piece of the pies and stuff like that. Right. That's just a piece of the pie. And there's no way in the world that you can offer me half of this piece of pie because you want to be secretive. Because you being secretive opens the door for every other thing to happen. You know? Because if you don't have money to take your side piece out, you probably want to get a side piece.
Yeah. And think about that visually. If you got a 360 degrees, right? A pie, right? Full circle. Mm-hmm. You take a slice of that pie, it leaves a void, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead and drop it, Mike, today. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna drop it.
Mike gonna keep on dropping them nuggets on you, okay? Yeah, but that's how I view it, you know. And just because I've seen so many people that you and I even know together,
right,
that have these mutual accounts, and I swear I thought these people's marriage was going. I have no idea what happens behind closed doors. I just know that speaking to different guys, they said, "Man, this whole thing started when our money went separate."
When money, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So we know a couple people that's about to, you know.
Well, I know a couple people that's about to be married. If y'all can't tell about these podcasts, I don't know. No, I'm just saying. I know there's love in the air somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
It's all around us. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna slap Cupid when I see him.
Yeah, because he didn't kick you all in your head, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Mike like, stop, Chris, stop, Chris. Get him off for you, Mike. Stop, Chris. Yeah, but man, you know what though? I wish that the people that I knew, you know, that was getting married, right, would actually listen to some of the things that I actually say now, because man, I feel like now I'm so much wiser. And because I've made so many mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Right? Yes, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, man, you know, but here's the thing, though. Most time, Mike, people don't want to hear stuff like that.
No.
You know, because people want to hear what they want to hear, how they want to hear it, when they want to hear it. You're like, dude, if you're talking about getting married, dude, you need to surrender all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not willing to give up your side piece, dude, female, money, whatever it is, then you shouldn't get married. That's real talk. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a female and you're a dude who with somebody who don't want to get that stuff up, then maybe that's the person not for you then. Yeah. So maybe you should go back, pray for those people, and see, hope that God would change their hearts, because on your best day you would never change their heart, and just see what comes out of it. That's what I think.
Yeah. You have to be completely vulnerable and transparent, you know. Here we go.
There you go.
Big word.
No, I like that.
But no,
I
you
like
have
that.
to be. When you're entering into these unions, there's no way around that. I mean, I don't know. I guess we have that comfort zone that we kind of in sometimes, and we don't really want to completely get out of it. We got that box, you know, that keeps us warm, keeps us secure, and you know, you got to be able to come out of that. And if you truly love that person, you got to trust, you know, that they're gonna have your best interest at heart, and vice versa. And you just got to be vulnerable. You got to be open. You got to become one.
Dude, that's probably the best word you can use in a marriage to me is vulnerability, because nobody wants to be vulnerable. Nobody wants to show people their weaknesses. Nobody wants to show people that they don't have it all together. Nobody wants to show people anything other than the best of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the crazy thing is this right here, though, because so many times we show our friends that we have everything going on and all that kind of stuff, and then by the time we get home to our girl or our husband, we're spent, and then all they get is what's left over of that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you believe that is there any good reason to have a secret or separate account? Like, is there? Because I would argue that, you know, if we had some people call in, and I'm sure they would give reasons as to why, you know, and try to justify reasons why to have a secret account.
But I bet you money. Okay, and this we should do though. This should be a two-parter almost, so we can get people to phone call in, right? But I guarantee you, before we even hear what they're gonna say, Mike, it's gonna be an excuse for them to do what they want to do. Because there's no way in the world, again, that you can put everything you have into a relationship, but you feel like your money is not part of that.
Yeah.
All that I have.
Yeah. So everything except finance.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, I'm gonna give up everything but this side piece over here.
Right.
I don't know about your future wife, but I know my wife ain't buying it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not buying it. So I just believe there's no way in the world, again, it's not possible. Because if that was possible, then God's word would not be true.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like God said it, I believe it, that's all it is.
Yeah. And he jumped the mic. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So what about you? Do you think it's it's ever a good time to have a separate account, or other than the allowance thing we talked about already?
Yeah, other than the allowance thing, I think, you know, you still need a little bit of leeway to kind of do that. I've had these conversations recently, actually, and you know, we both agreed that, you know, everything should be a collective, and you know, I think what's important is that, you know, you have these upfront conversations to talk about things like finances, and,
right.
You know, everything related to that, like, you know, how much money is coming in, how much is going out, what are your financial obligations, you know, are we missing anything? You know, you have to have those type of discussions, like, up front.
Dude, why do you think people are afraid to have those types of conversations?
I don't know. I mean, if you can't love me, whether I'm rich or poor, you know, broke or balling, you know, I mean, you got to love me however I come. If you can't love me like that, then, you know, it's what it is. So maybe that's why people, you know.
Which kind of goes back to the word you used earlier, vulnerable. People don't want to be vulnerable.
People afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, so I think if, you know, ultimately if a person can't love you for who you truly are, then y'all don't need to be together. Like, as simple as that.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, you know. What did we talk about last week?
Perceived value, yeah.
Perceived value.
Yeah. Or lack of.
Put on these fronts and airs and, you know, all that stuff. It don't even matter. You know, you got to have somebody that's going to be there for you, whether, like I said, whether you balling or you broke. Like, you know, we all go through patches, right? We go through times and
seasons.
Yeah, we go through seasons. I like that word. Yeah, we go through seasons. We have our seasons, and it's like the weather sometimes. You know, it ain't gonna always be, you know, 80 degrees and sunny. You know,
especially here in Texas.
A storm might be brewing, and you know, you got to be able to weather that storm. You got to be able to love me through that. Whatever that is. And
there's no way you can do that if you don't have the foundation of trust. You don't have the foundation of me totally believing in you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't totally believe in you, then I got to have another account. Then I got to have a side piece. Then I got to have all this other because I don't totally believe in you. So at the end of the day, it's like this right here. If you're with somebody you don't totally believe in, you shouldn't be with them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and there's no other way to sugarcoat it. Now, we can call it a whole lot of other things, but if you don't feel like that person totally is 110% invested in you, and you can't invest that into them, then you shouldn't be with them.
Yeah, That's true. Maybe it made me think about something else. This is a whole different podcast topic. Prenups.
Wow. Yeah. Huh.
But we'll touch on that another time.
Okay, check this out. There, I got one for you too. Yeah. Check it out. Because one of the females I was talking about this podcast, she said, Kevin, you ever wonder why a man can drive through a fast food place, McDonald's, whatever, and he could see a gorgeous girl working at McDonald's, whether it be manager, whether it be whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
Whether it be the chick taking your order in the window, whatever. And if he's attracted to her, he'll talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Take her out of McDonald's, get her with her, whatever.
Right.
Whoop de whoop. He said, now, why is it that a female driving through McDonald's, see that male working right there, she won't give him time of day?
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So it's like, see, that right there tells you how we all screwed up over finances.
Yeah. How we wired, yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
So, yeah. That's what I think about this whole thing, Mike.
All right. I think we pretty much touched on all aspects of it.
The time was good, though.
Like you said, it may be a two-parter. May need to get some feedback, from some folks and to see what their thoughts are. I'm sure there's some very interesting stories out there.
No doubt.
So, but with that said, Kevin, I guess we could just wrap it up.
Okay. Well, I guess I had to wrap this whole thing up about having two separate accounts or one hidden account. I would just say that, first of all, nothing done in the dark will stay in the dark. And so if you want to be in a relationship and you have trust, first you have to believe and trust in Christ and know that whatever your desires are, whatever your needs are, Christ will get those for you. So that's why he wants us to be dependent on him, not independent in no shape, form, or fashion. And so like Mike said earlier, we just believe that you have to be 110% committed to what you're doing, who you're with, and just know that once you do it together, you can do anything together. But when you start to try to step outside the lines and do it apart, then that's when the trouble starts. So just keep Christ in the marriage, keep Christ in the communication, and everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out. So whatever you do it for Christ, and you'll have a blessed night.
Peace.